If you can get 1% better every day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better at the end of the year. This is the quote that has allowed me to revolutionize the way I play Valorant, and in this video, I'm going to explain how it could revolutionize the way you play too. The quote changed my gameplay for one simple reason. It showed me the power of small change. If you can ensure that you become just 1% better at the game every single day, in 1 year you will be exponentially better than you are right now. So well, how can we make these 1% improvements to our gameplay? One of the best tools that can help you do that is the sponsor of this video, Rala.ai. If you main a character with lineups or setups, or maybe you're forced to play Phil for your duo sometimes, Rala.ai can be used to help you learn them on the fly. Of course, I'd recommend learning them in a custom match before queuing, but if you are in a pinch, it really does help. This feature of Rala.ai literally allows you to improve your agent mastery by 1% whenever you want. Besides agent mastery, Rala.ai can help you call strats like a pro player, as it has data from every VCT match ever played. Rala has all the information from your game, so you don't need to explain your team comp, economy, or anything like that. Simply just ask it to come up with a strategy pre-round, and it will come up with a strat that has probably been done by a tier 1 team in the past. My personal favorite features are the automatic alerts, like the built-in bomb timer, warnings if the enemy team could buy an operator, and even reminders to adjust your team's pace on T-side so that you don't autopilot. At the time of this video's release, Rala.ai is completely free, and I don't know if it's going to stay that way forever, so I'd highly recommend checking it out as soon as you can. As I said in the intro, if there are ways that we can ensure just 1% improvements to our gameplay, our long-term growth will be exponential. And luckily for us, there are a lot of ways that we can consistently make these small improvements to different aspects of our gameplay. This video contains everything I know about improving at Valorant, and I really think it can help someone out. If you've watched me before, you know that I'm a huge fan of aim trainers and using them as a tool for improvement. This isn't for no reason either. Aim training is one of the few ways to measurably track an aspect of your gameplay, in this case, raw aim. This was significant to me as it helped me mentally to know that I was actually improving my raw aim by 1% every day. Having something measurable like aim training in your practice is so underrated when it comes to improving at something. Creating a goal such as 𝐁𝐿 in the Voltaic benchmarks helped me take accountability and actually push for objective improvement. There were no external factors holding me back, no teammates to blame, no stupid metas, it just came down to my level of raw mouse control. If you want to make these 1% improvements to your raw aim every day, play for 30 minutes to an hour daily and focus on 1 to 2 scenarios that you are going to push for a high score on. This will force you to improve your technique or pacing for that specific scenario. Of course, you won't always be able to increase your scores every single day because we are human, and that's okay. However, even on these days where you aim train and can't hit a high score, you are still going through a phase called compression, where the distance between your lowest scores and your highest scores are decreasing. What used to be your best level of aiming will eventually become your worst. Now, before ending this section off, some people might argue against the validity of scores as an objective measure of aim, and honestly, I'd agree with them for the most part. So if you are going to use aim trainers, I want you to keep the following in mind. Other than a few exceptions such as scenarios that require you to learn them by improving your understanding of the bot movements or spawn patterns to get a higher score, if you can get a high score with the same sensitivity, same FOV, and a reasonable accuracy, this will mean that you have executed the scenario with better technique. Never try to get a high score by cheesing the system with either sensitivity or FOV, and always ensure a reasonable accuracy that you're gonna have to decide for yourself based on the scenario and your skill level. While it's a lot harder to measure your crosshair placement and movement mastery, deathmatches and practicing peeking in custom matches are the best ways to improve them, no doubt. When utilizing these methods, you want to be familiar with your weaknesses, familiar with what good technique looks like, and you want to be focused while you're practicing. If you're doing all of this while playing deathmatches and custom matches daily, it is very likely that you are improving this aspect of your gameplay by 1% every day. However, a 1% improvement becomes increasingly harder to gain when you become better at the game. While 5 minutes of practicing peeking in a custom match and playing 2 deathmatches with intent might improve a bronze player's movement and crosshair placement by 3%, it might take 20 to 30 minutes of focused movement practice in custom matches, plus an additional 3 to 6 deathmatches to improve an ascendant player's movement and crosshair placement by just 1%. It's really hard to track your proficiency in these categories, and you really can't put a number on it. However, I do promise you that practicing with focus and intent will inevitably result in making improvements. If you really do want to track your improvement, if you're new to the game, you can use tracker.gg's headshot percentage in your competitive games until you're resting at around 20 to 25% headshot rate. For more experienced players, the only way for us to really track our improvement is by recording a few deathmatches per week and watching them back months later. Because the reality of 1% every day means that your practice won't be visible in just one day, or even 1 month. Even if you could ensure 1% improvement every day, which is completely unrealistic, in 1 month, you would only be 1.3 times better than you were at the start of it. But this is my promise to you. If you know what perfect technique looks like from watching the pros and are constantly focused while you're practicing and attempting to emulate perfect pre-aim and movement, over the course of 3 to 4 months, you will be able to notice it when you watch your old deathmatches back, and you will be incredibly proud of yourself for it. Okay, so obviously you can't measure game sense or quantify 1% improvements in it, but the closest thing I've got is VOD reviewing. This is something that I still don't do enough. However, in the past few weeks, it's actually helped me improve my game sense. VOD reviewing your games at the start or end of your sessions can end up improving your game sense significantly. However, you shouldn't think of it as something like aim training, where it automatically and objectively improves your game sense and you'll just have it subconsciously for the rest of your career. There is a whole process between recognizing an issue, being able to see this issue when you make it again in game, and then actually fixing the issue. For me, after my first VOD reviewing session, I was able to see mistakes in my gameplay that I've never noticed before. And what helped even more was having a coach or a higher ranked friend review the game with me. Having a player that was better than me explain their thought process to me allowed me to realize what was missing in my own gameplay. For example, in my case, having someone better review my gameplay made me realize how much information I was missing. My decision making wasn't bad because I was stupid, it was bad because I was missing vital information that could be extrapolated by events happening in the game and patterns that have happened in previous rounds. This wasn't an instant fix to my problems, however, I would say that my first session allowed me to improve my game sense by 1%. I'm still way too new to VOD reviewing to tell you guys all of its benefits, but if you are serious about ranking up, you need to be doing this. If you have any VOD review tips, you can comment them down below for me and your fellow viewers. This wouldn't be a Corey video without this part of the video. It might just be common sense, but it is scientifically proven that your cardiovascular health, quality and duration of your sleep, as well as your diet and mental health significantly affect your cognition, which includes your reaction time, decision-making skills, and rate of learning. If you want to learn more about this, watch some 𝐁𝐿2, because this guy is pretty much the GOAT of real-life optimization in relation to Valorant and gaming. However, the most important things that you need to take care of is 8 hours of sleep, make sure you're doing some cardio, and make sure you're eating 3 meals a day that are actually like not fucking like brain dead 200 calorie meals. Like have at least 2,000 calories a day. Come on, let's be real. So yeah, do your cardio, sleep 8 hours, and actually eat some real food. So to sum this entire video up, 1. Aim train 30 minutes to an hour a day to ensure 1% improvements in your aim. This should be focused, it should be measured, you should keep your scores in mind, and you should play with proper technique. 2. You should play death matches and shadowbox in custom matches to ensure 1% improvements in your crosshair placement and movement. And for this to work, you need to be aware of what good technique looks like, what your weaknesses are, and you need to be focused while you're playing. 3. You should be VOD reviewing in order to ensure 1% improvements to your gameplay. And 4. Optimize your life outside of Valorant to ensure 1% increases to your cognition and life as a whole. It's unrealistic to expect yourself to do all 4 things every single day, but as long as you're improving week by week, you're gonna be okay, bro. You're not gonna be hard stuck for like a year. You're gonna rank up, bro. You need to calm down. You gotta stop trying to rush the process. You gotta realize that improvement takes time. If you're improving 1% every single day, it's gonna be months until that's visible. And that's okay. There's some stuff on the screen right now, bro. You can click them. Thank you so much for watching this video.